Hey everybody, I'm just going to do a quick video today comparing the tiny wood stove and my diesel heater. I've had my diesel heater for about 5 years. I've run it a lot, so I kind of know how it performs and what the pros and cons are of that. I've also had this tiny wood stove running here for about a month, running almost every single day, heating up the space. So now I think I can compare it and give you guys some advice on what are the pros and cons of each system and how you can combine them if you wish for a more redundant system. Let's go. So I guess I'll start with the diesel heater here. Basically, the diesel heater is more convenient, I think, if you have power and if you have diesel, because you can basically start it with a remote from inside your house or wherever you are, so you don't have to be there. It doesn't require, putting wood in every few hours. You can route it. I'm routing it right now with a steel tube to my desk. I'll show you that in a second. So you can kind of route to different places. They're really inexpensive. They're about $100 to $200 for the diesel heater. Wood stoves can range from $500 to $1,500 for the full assembly. So these are a lot less expensive. They don't have quite as much heating power as a wood stove, obviously. But if you have a small insulated space, they can definitely do the job, and they're definitely more convenient. Like I mentioned, I have it routed underneath my desk, so you can kind of take the heat where you want it within reason. This pipe's probably about 10 feet long to the heater, and I just have it sort of piped underneath my desk here, blowing air. And that means that I can run it on a lower setting, use less fuel because I'm concentrating the heat where I am, not trying to fill up the whole room. As I mentioned, you do need to keep the fuel topped up. I've put my fuel tank here on the outside of my building, so from my house, I can kind of see where the fuel tank is at. When I walk by into the shop, I can see the fuel level, so I know I'm low on fuel if it gets down there. And I have everything mounted externally here, and I find this is the simplest option instead of trying to route stuff inside. And I found that I was spilling fuel, even if I was being really careful, occasionally with the diesel fill up there. So it's nice just to have everything outside and away from your living space. And just as an aside here, it is winter here. It's the beginning of January or the middle of January. It is fairly cold. It's probably averaged around 0 Celsius to minus 10 Celsius the last month or so. So I am running this in real winter conditions here, this system with the diesel heater and the wood stove. So I feel like the advice I'm giving is fairly relevant for anyone in North America or Europe that has cold temperatures like this. So like I said, one of the big pros of these heaters is that they're very inexpensive, $100 to $200, which is pretty amazing. But you do need two things. You need the diesel, which I showed you outside, and you need to constantly be filling that up. I go through about, I run it mostly on low, and I go through about 20 liters every 2 weeks. So about 10 liters a week on low. If you're running at about 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, that's what you can kind of expect. You also need a battery and a way to charge the battery, so that can get quite expensive depending on your energy needs in other areas as well. If you're just running the heater, you can get away with like a 20 amp hour lithium battery. That's fine, as long as you have a good way to charge it reliably. And like I mentioned, it is more convenient. You've got the control panel. You can set the heat levels. You can see what temperature it is inside. You've got the remote control, which comes with these units, which is very handy. I found on those cold mornings when you're inside the house and you just want to press a button and have the heater start, 30 minutes to an hour before you get into the building. Switching gears to the wood stove, I find that the wood stove is a bit more redundant. All you need is wood. It puts out more heat. It does come a bit of a cost because the wood stove is more expensive. All the stainless pipe and everything, the chimney exit, it all adds up. So you're looking at a few $1,000s to do it properly. But the best thing about it is, yeah, you just need wood. That's it. If you have wood in your area, if you have a forest, if you're already collecting wood for your house or some other building, you can use some of that wood in here. It's basically free in that case. You do have to cut the wood down for these tiny stoves to about 6 to 8 inches length. So that does require a little bit more work to cut it to the right size. And yeah, keep it constantly stocked and all that, and rotate the wood through and move it into each building and all that kind of stuff. But for the heat you get, the redundancy of not worrying about if the power's out, if your electrical system fails for some reason, If you live in a northern area where it gets cold in the winter, I feel like a wood stove is probably one of the safest bets you can make. And yeah, like I mentioned, you got to have wood. So you're constantly moving wood in and out, cutting it to, the right size to fit the specific wood stove you have. This wood stove actually has a neat feature where it has some storage underneath. So I can store a bit of wood under there just in case, I run out of my bin that I'm constantly moving stuff in and out of. I forgot to mention that this is a Cubic Mini Grizzly tiny stove made by a company called Cubic Mini in Quebec, Canada. Yeah, if you're interested, look down in the description and I'll put a link below to this stove and all the parts I used for this build. So I thought I'd quickly just show while we're in this video how I cut my wood down if I don't want to use my electric chop saw, and if I just need a couple of pieces of wood cut to the right size for my small wood stove. And this is a trick I learned on another YouTube video a long time ago, but I think it's pretty useful, and if you haven't seen it before, all you need is a buck saw of some kind. This is a folding Agawa Canyon that you can put in your backpack. It folds completely flat. But you can use like a hardware store one or whatever you have. So basically what you do is you put one side of the saw and you kind of just step on the bottom of the saw there. Okay, I'll move back a little bit. Step on the bottom of the saw. You pinch the top with your knees. You grab the piece of wood. So I kind of want to cut it like around here to fit in my stove. And then you just carefully, I would wear gloves too, just because I'd rather cut through an animal's skin rather than my skin, right? Yeah, you basically just run the piece of wood down like this. And I'm not pushing super hard against the blade. I'm just kind of letting the blade do the work. And this wood's pretty dry, so it sort of cracked there, but there you go. Easy, safe, you don't have to try and like hold it with your foot and all this kind of stuff, and pretty repeatable. There we go. Fairly quick. You don't want to do like 100 pieces of wood like this, but if you're just doing a couple, maybe like 5-10 pieces, you can do this. And it's great at a campsite as well. If you have a piece of wood on the ground and you want to bucket up into small pieces, it's not a bad technique to use if you don't want to try to be balancing fiddly pieces of wood and they're slipping around everywhere, especially when it's snowy and icy. And I just want to quickly give you guys a tip. If you're looking to make some fire starters, I've been experimenting a little bit lately. I started using dryer lint with Vaseline, and it was okay. But I found that using cotton balls, just because of the way that they're woven, they absorb a lot more Vaseline. So if you warm up a tub of Vaseline in hot water, get it to sort of liquefy, and then put a cotton ball inside, dip it in, and then squeeze it in your fingers, you get these amazing fire starters, and they're so cheap. Like, you can make about 100 of these for $5. So this is just an amazing fire starter, and I thought I'd just mention it while we're here, in case you haven't heard of this as a fire starter, and maybe you can start making your own as well at home. So yeah, I bought this Vaseline from the dollar store for like $1 or $1.50. The cotton balls are about $1. So it's a very inexpensive way to make fire starter. And the tin or the container that the Vaseline comes in doubles as a storage container. It doesn't leak or anything or get Vaseline on anything. And you can stuff it full of the fire starters that you make. And I put this in my car. I put this in my backpacks. So you can make a bunch of these little kits, and you can easily light these with a fire steel or anything like that, and they light up super easy. So it's a very inexpensive way to make fire quickly, and it burns for about 5 minutes straight, at least 5 minutes with one of these balls. So hopefully you've gotten some value out of this video. I've tried to explain the pros and cons of diesel versus wood heat as best I can and where they complement each other. So I'm hoping you've gotten some good information out of it. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. I am putting out a lot of videos in the future here. The next big one is going to be a solar build series where we're going to design and build a solar system together, which hopefully will help a lot of people who are looking to do something similar. And I want to thank you for watching. Have a great week. God bless you and your family. Take care.